Yo, 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 what's up, my students? DJ M Squared is in her house. Yeah, that's my mansion back there. I called up Miss Mobile on the phone and I told her, you know what, you can take today off. You've been working real hard lately. So I'm going to teach your students all about order of operations. Now, I've got a brand new track that I'd like to throw at you today, and you can let me know how it goes. Plus, I've got some new merch. You see my M Squared. If you want to hit me up and get one of these t-shirts, let me know. You know where to get at me. All right, so here's the thing. Whenever you have some type of expression like 3 plus 2 times 5, order of operations tells you how to go about solving it. Now, somebody might go, well, I'm going to do 3 plus 2. Well, that's 5 times 5, and they get 25 as their answer. And somebody else may go, well, I'm going to do 2 times 5 first. So 2 times 5 is 10 plus 3 is 13. What? Those are two completely different answers. And only one of them is correct because they used the order of operations and remembered PEMDAS. PEMDAS? What's that? Well, that's where my brand new track is going to come in. So let's hit it. Down, do your math, do your math. Down, down, do your math, do your math. Down, do your math, do your math. Down, down, do your math, do your math. They say I'm a rapper, and I say yeah. They say what you learn, and I'm learning crazy math. It's called the order of operations. We learn it so we can solve expressions. Yo, we got some crazy math. We gotta use our pencils. It's called PEMDAS. We'll tell you what you need to know. It don't matter if you're young or you're old. We're gonna tell you how it goes. Parentheses, 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 exponents, 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 exponents. Now multiply and divide. Multiply and divide, then add and subtract, and add and subtract. Parentheses, 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 exponents, 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 exponents. Now divide, multiply and divide, then add and subtract, and add and subtract. Down, do your math, do your math. Down, down, do your math, do your math. Down, do your math, do your math. Down, down, do your math, do your math. All right, so there you have it, folks. That's my new order of operations or PEMDAS song. So what do you think? Well, either way, hopefully that might help you remember how to do order of operations. So let's kind of review what the song says. So the first thing you got to do is parentheses. That's the P in PEMDAS. Okay, parentheses kind of look like this. Okay, parentheses could also be brackets. They kind of look like that. Or they could be brackets that look like this as well. So you might see all three. Don't be scared. Do those first. Okay, exponents. I know y'all have been talking about that for a long time. Exponents are when you see something like a little 2 up there. There we go. This says 3 squared. Like DJ M squared. So do those exponents next. So parentheses, parentheses, exponents. Got it so far? Then what you do is mult, then divide, mult and divide. Now that means you multiply and divide in the order that they come in. So if you see something like 9 divided by 3 times 2, okay, even though multiply comes first in PEMDAS, you do these in order from left to right if that's all you have left. So this one right here, you would do 9 divided by 3 first, then multiply it by 2. Okay, so that's why these are kind of grouped together, is you got to do them from left to right, okay, if that's all you've got left. And then your last one, add and subtract. So same thing. If you have 10 minus 4 plus 3, okay, since all you have left is subtraction and addition, you go from left to right. So you do 10 minus 4 first, then plus 3. So be careful when you get to these two. You don't add first, then subtract. That's not the lyrics that I said. It's add and subtract. Same thing here. It's not mult, then divide. It's mult and divide. So you got to do those in order from left to right. Okay. Now, some people are like, DJ, that's a great song and all, but how am I going to remember all those lyrics? That's a lot of words to remember. Well, the only part you got to remember is parentheses, exponents, mult, and divide. That's the only part you got to remember. Or you can use the most infamous order of operations saying ever, which is please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Do you see P parentheses, E exponents, M multiply, D divide, A add, S subtract. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Now, I have an Aunt Sally, and she's a beautiful woman, but sometimes you gotta excuse her, because sometimes she can be a little rough around the edges. You wanna see her? There she is right there. Oh, yeah, Aunt Sally, you are a beautiful woman, beautiful woman. So, please excuse her. So you can just remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or think of those lyrics. So, we're going to try a bunch of these together, because the only way you can get good at my lyrics is by practicing. So, here we go. All right, so here we go. We're going to try a bunch of these together. So you can do them along with me, or you can pause this video right now, try them on your own, and then check them along with me. You decide. All right, so here we go. First thing you got to know is, what's the order? Well, you can either remember PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, mult, and divide, and add and subtract. Or, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I highly suggest you write that somewhere on a piece of paper that shows you that order so that you remember. All right, if you want to, you can even put those symbols, exponents, like put 3 up to the little 2, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. Do what you need to do to help you remember. So here we go. We have 17 minus in parentheses 4 plus 3. So let's look first. We got to do parentheses first. Do we see any? Yep, so what we're going to do is we're going to solve this part that's inside the parentheses. So 4 plus 3. Oh, 4 plus 3 is 7. And what we have left is minus 17. So we're just going to write that right below it so that we know exactly what we have. Now, do we have any exponents? Nope. Go to the next one. Multiply? Nope. Divide? Nope. Add? Nope. Subtract? Yep, that's all we got left. So we do 17 minus 7 if you didn't figure that out already, which is 10. There you go. All right, so let's look at the next one. So we have 14 minus 7 in parentheses plus 3 plus 5, which is also in parentheses. So what are we going to do first? Parentheses. So we have 2 sets here, so that means you're going to solve both of them. So we're going to do 14 minus 7 first, which is 7. And we're going to do 5 plus 3, which is 8. And what symbol is in between? It's an addition symbol, so that's what we got to put in between there. So again, we don't really need to check through, but that's what you want to do, is get into the habit of going, okay, next is exponents, then multiply, then divide, then add. But if we only have one operation left, just add it together. So 8 plus 7 is 15. There we go. So far, so good. All right, let's keep moving on. So this time we got 6 minus 1 in parentheses plus 10 squared. Ooh, our first exponent. So what do we do first? Parentheses. So you got to do your parentheses first. So we do 6 minus 1 in parentheses, which is 5. And I'm just going to write plus 10 squared so that I know that's what I have left over, because some of these can get really, really long. Hey, don't try to do this all in your head, yo. Write it down. That's why I said you're going to need your pencils. Did you hear that line? All right, so anyways, here we go. Our next one is exponents. Do we have any? Yep, so what we're going to do is we're going to solve 10 squared. So remember, 10 squared is 10 times 10. 10 times 10 is what? It's 100. So I'm going to write 100 below it. So we have 100 plus 5. There we go. And since that's all we have left is one operation, we're just going to do that last. So what's 100 plus 5? It's 105. There you go. Getting it? It's all about PEMDAS. All about PEMDAS. Remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. All right, last one here. I'm going to erase this part here so we can read this a little bit better. Here we go. So it's 6 plus 27 divided by 3. Ooh, what do we do first? Well, parentheses. Do we have any? Nope. All right. Exponents? Nope. Multiply? Nope. Divide? Yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this division problem first. Okay. How many of you tried to do 6 plus 27 first? Yeah, if you did, you didn't use the order of operations, so be careful. Okay, so 27 divided by 3 is 9. You got to do that before you add and subtract. So now we got to add 6 to this. And 9 plus 6 is 15. There we go. All right, we're going to try a couple more because these ones are a little bit on the easier side. We're going to try some tougher ones. You ready? I think so. Let's do it. All right, here we go. Last fall. So we got this. So here we go. We're using PEMDAS. Remember, please choose my dear Aunt Sally, or parentheses, exponents, multiply, add, subtract. All right, so here we go. We have 8 times 6 minus 4 times 3. Whew. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't see any parentheses, and I don't see any exponents, so we go mult and divide first. So what are multiplication? Well, I see 8 times 6, and if you want to put this in your own parentheses, there is nothing stopping you. Go right through it. So I've got 8 times 6, which is 48. So now I have 48 minus 4 times 3. Well, I still have multiplication here. There's still a multiplication problem. Do you see it? We got to do 4 times 3 next. And 4 times 3 is 12. So that means I'm left with 48 minus 12. And if you need to set it up and down, go for it. Set it up and down. Nothing stopping you there. So 48 minus 12 is 36. There we go. Okay, so gotta use order of operations. You can't just go from left to right unless you got adding and subtracting left or multiplying and dividing. So here we go. Our next one is 7 minus 3 plus 2 times 1. See any parentheses? Nope. Exponents? Nope. Multiplication or division? Yes. Okay, so again, if you want to put this in parentheses so that you focus in on that, that's what I like to do. I like to focus in on that problem part. So we do 2 times 1, which is 2. And then I'm just going to fill in what I have left here. All right, do we have any multiplication or division left? Nope, but we do have addition and subtraction. Now, here's where I was saying before. All we have left is adding and subtracting. So that means we have to go in order from left to right. Okay, we do not do 3 plus 2 first and then do that minus 7. If all you have left is addition and subtraction, you go from left to right. Same thing, if all you have left is multiplication and division, you go from left to right. So since all we have left is subtraction and addition, we're going to go from left to right. So we do 7 minus 3 first, which is 4, and then do 4 plus 2, which is 6. Okay, so be careful with those. That's the biggest mistake I see scholars and students make. So make sure that you go from left to right when all you've got left is multiplication and division or addition and subtraction. All right, next one gets a little bit tougher. We have 2 sets of parentheses here. So we have parentheses and then we have brackets, or some people like to call these braces, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna do the stuff inside the first parentheses and then do the stuff inside the second parentheses, okay? So sometimes you'll see that. Don't be scared. They're just parentheses letting you know to focus in on that. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna do our first set of parentheses first, which is 4 minus 1. So 4 minus 1 is 3. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rewrite everything else that I have so that I focus in on that. Okay, now I have another set of parentheses. It's 2 squared plus 3. Well, I've got to figure out what 2 squared is first before I can add that to 3. So I've got to do that exponent next. So what is 2 squared? Well, 2 squared is just 2 times 2, which is 4. Okay, so I'm going to write 4 down here just because I don't have a lot of them. So now I'm going to do what's left in that bracket or brace, which is 4 plus 3. What's 4 plus 3? Well, that's 7. And what I have left is 7 times 5. Don't forget that 5 there. So 7 times 5 is 35. Okay, so don't be scared when you see 2 sets of brackets. Just do the inner stuff and then do the outer stuff next. So don't be scared by those, okay? All right, our last one is our toughest one. This is something you might see next year, but hey, let's get a head start, yo. All right, we have 36 minus 5 next to the parentheses. 16 minus 13. What? How does that work? Well, here's the thing. You remember talking about when a number is attached to a letter, what do you do? You multiply. Well, guess what? When a number is attached to parentheses, or this will eventually be a number, what do you think you're going to do? Yeah, you're going to multiply. So believe it or not, you're going to multiply those together. So let's do the parentheses first, because you got to do please, excuse. So 16 minus 13, I just gave you the answer, is 3. Okay, so 3 is in parentheses, and there's 5 next to it, minus 36. Here we go. Okay, so you see number kind of attached to the letter there, so it's basically just doing 5 times 3, which is 15. So we have 36 minus 15. Again, if you need to set that up and down, feel free to do that. But either way, 36 minus 15 is 21. It's all about PEMDAS, okay? Please, here we go. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or just remember the song. Parentheses, parentheses, exponents, exponents, and more than 5. More and divide, and add and subtract, and add and subtract. I think y'all got it. So, this is DJ M Squared signing off for this year. Good luck, yo, in 6th grade. Y'all are going to do great. Hit me up whenever you need me.